Gorecast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the station of decapitation without your head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh no.
What's up, Gorecasters, and welcome back here to the Gorecast with me, Johnny Deadly, and my home slice, who's back in the studio after some windy weather last week.
And tonight, to be fair as well, I nearly got blown off the road. It was interesting.
Nearly, but not. Which is the important thing.
Only because I managed to get down here between showers. I feel I should have an interesting time on my way
Your
home.
daily showering routine is no business of the chats or the viewers of the later show once it's finished being live.
At least I'm hygienic.
Hopefully, fingers crossed today, I think, not jinxing it, it's a wooden table that I believe the majority of the kinky winks have been worked out of the streamy wing. And there's some been cool new additions that I was talking about adding that are now in. How have you been this week, Gizzles, before we get into all of the news and things like that?
Normally I'd be going straight into the news, but I'm giving my co-host the time to set up the fancy new stuff that he's been...
Oh no, it's all set.
Oh, is it?
That was me just tweeting shit out.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Shall I just...
I wanted to be involved in the news bits this week, seeing as I have a whole thing. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready to get into the news?
I guess so, yes.
Okay, well in that case, it's time for the news! Newsroom.
Hello and welcome to the Muppet News. Today on our show... Oh my god. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. Anyway, hello there, folks, and welcome to Sesame Street. I am Kermit the Frog, delivering you the Sesame Street news.
That is some primo grade Kermit right there. I have to give you credit where credit is due with the news.
You should hear me singing Hurt. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel... Anyway, it's okay. I'm sticking with it.
Katie McNeil, before we get into news, Kinky Wink, the fifth Teletubby that breaks technology and hates the internet.
You're not wrong.
Chalk it down.
You're not wrong. Hi, Katie.
Hey, actually,
and hello, Pam.
Before we get it, hello, Pam. Hello, Paddy Joe. And
hello, Joe.
Puzzles.
Oi, Buzz. How are we getting on, man?
And miscellaneous fifth.
Hello, fifth person.
Welcome.
Are you sure that's not you?
Welcome.
Anyway, into the news bits. It seems that Netflix is going to be bringing us Hamish Steele's horror comedy graphic novels, Dead India, in a new 2D animated version. Steele himself is going to serve as the showrunner for the upcoming series, which is set to follow four friends as they balance jobs at an amusement park's haunted house while battling the totally real supernatural forces that dwell within it.
That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
It does. The series is going to be from Blink Industries. Will feature the voice talents of Zach Barrick as Barney, Cody Cavatha as Norma. Probably spelled or pronounced that completely wrong.
If you want to make us a custom news intro, man, you go for it, dude. I would love that.
Yes.
We'll give you a credit in the show.
Okay. Anyway, Dead India is about terrifying demons, vengeful ghosts, and mysterious magic. It is also about coming of age in a world that wasn't made for you. It's a drama about found family, identity, and making mistakes, Steele said in a statement. I've always dreamed of making the show I needed as a lonely, horror-obsessed, closeted gay kid, and thanks to Netflix and our ridiculously talented, diverse, and representative writers' room and crew, we have shot way past my dreams and into wildest fantasy territory. So expect Dead India to be arriving sometime in 2021.
There's not enough cool animated horror stuff.
This looks like it's going to be zany just based on the animation style alone.
I know you have like anime horror stuff. Do you know what I mean? But like normal horror stuff.
Well, this is going to be horror comedy, so I don't know how.
I'm okay with horror comedy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
look at,
always okay with horror comedy.
Look at El Super B stuff.
Weirdly enough, because of the art style, that was the that's what was
it's one
popping
of the
into my
reasons
head.
I mentioned it. Yeah.
Very kind of like over the top, Ren and Stimpy-esque.
Yes.
You crazy? You trying to kill me, man?
It looks very good though.
Hopefully.
I'm totally down with that.
Yep.
There's only 2 news bits this week. So
There is. I'm sorry, I failed
It's
in my
not your
job.
fault.
It is. I'm the guy that's supposed to find the news.
Yeah, but if there's no news.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one.
Or are you doing a bit of jiggery pokery?
No, we're on to the next one.
Okay. It seems that the mind-bending movie Peripheral is set to get a UK release. Peripheral is directed by Paul Haight, who also did the Seasoning House, Howl, and the festival horror Heretics. Is taking on the sci-fi genre with
Wait, is the whole movie called the Festival of Horror Heretics? Or is it just Heretics?
The film was Heretics. It's nothing got
Okay. That was one of our top 10 of 20...
possibly. I
I
don't
want
know.
to say 18.
I don't remember last week. Never mind last year.
Okay. Girl gets brought up to a cabin. There's a crazy coven of something or other. There's a crazy cult that thinks she's...
She's an angel.
Yeah.
An angel.
Yeah.
now I remember.
Yeah. There you go.
The man screwed her. And then
Actually, if you
she
do get a
killed her.
chance to see Heretics, just
That's
on topic,
that's if we're thinking of the same film here. But anyway,
we definitely are.
okay, fine.
I
Oh, well, apparently this time the director of that, Paul Hyatt, is going for the sci-fi genre with the film Peripheral, which stars Hannah Atherton and reteams him with Seasoning House's Rosie Day. Apparently in the film, Atherton plays a character named Bobby Johnson, who is a young literary sensation facing her difficult second novel. Already dealing with a crazed stalker and her junkie ex-boyfriend, Bobby is convinced by her publisher to use a new smart editing software and finds herself going head-to-head with an artificial intelligence determined to write her book for her. As the machine manipulates her work to suit its own nefarious ends, Bobby begins to realize that she is being controlled in ways far more sinister than she suspected. She may, in fact, be a pawn in a conspiracy of social mind control. Too far down the rabbit hole to turn back, Bobby must keep writing, fighting her own addictions and hallucinations as she rushes to beat her deadline without selling her soul in the process. I feel this is going to be a head fuck of a
That
movie,
looks good. August 3rd?
which is getting a digital release in the UK courtesy of Bluefinch Films on the 3rd of August 2020. It's described as being a sinister and unsettling sci-fi horror fantasy, which will be available on iTunes, Amazon, Google, Sky, and Virgin.
On the hunt for the screener I go. 5,000 emails later.
Where is it? Where were we gonna get? Give it a screener!
Well, it's not one of our usual distribution house sources for the screeners. So,
This is
I'm
true.
probably going to have to go mailing people.
This is true.
But I want it. I want it and I want it now. That looks good.
Okay.
That looks very good. That's the end of the news. News just it. He's drowning himself live on camera.
I'm not being drunk myself.
Is that the end of the news?
Yes, we only have
All right.
two news stories,
Well,
remember?
that's the end of the news.
Do you just want an excuse to press the button again?
I do like pressing the button. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
But
It's
you
fine.
have to do everything, start, middle, and end.
No, you don't. But causality says that you do.
Well, in a
We're
TV
not-
show where we very much talk about and have given out about movies where it's just like there's just stuff happening with no
Sometimes-
start, middle, and end.
Sometimes start, middle, and end doesn't necessarily mean the way things are supposed to go, but then we're getting into paradoxes and time travel.
Thank you, Buzz.
Okay then. Anyway, so which one are we? What do we want to
We
start
are going to start with parts unknown.
with? Okay.
I thought we'd start crazy, then we'd get to a movie about someone who's literally fucking crazy, and then we'd get to a movie about a bunch of crazy witches.
Yeah. If I might just briefly, Parts Unknown is a film most assuredly made with a certain type of audience in mind, which fortunately
Wrestling fans.
we happen to fit into. Not just wrestling fans, I feel. Wrestling fans.
Extreme gore. Well,
Yes.
sorry, not even.
No, there's
I'm not. I'm reluctant to say extreme gore. Extremely graphic
Dark
scenarios.
situations.
Extremely graphic scenarios.
Now,
that
bear
they
in mind-
have occasionally tiptoed around in the middle of the movie, which I was upset about a little bit.
Yeah, now bear in mind, this film, because of the subject matter and because of the world it presents, probably isn't getting released at the best time. Or maybe it is, and as a result, it's going to capitalize because everyone's
fake news. Fake news.
everyone's going to go, oh my god, they were so right. Here's the thing. Parts Unknown is basically a wrestle-sploitation movie.
Yes.
And the grand...
I don't know if that's actually a genre that's happened before. It definitely has actually, because I remember...
This is what I was going to talk to you about. We have, in recent months, seen a rise in this genre that one can only describe as wrestle-sploitation.
Which you can really nearly solely place on Wild Eye releasing.
I feel that they're after running into a theme. But
Yeah, they might have hit a niche.
Perhaps.
And I like it.
perhaps.
Because even the last one was odd, but quite gripping.
No, the difference is this one, though, starts off and it does the traditional, like the welcome to your feature presentation, which means automatically you are going, you know you're watching some kind of grindhouse madness.
Yeah.
Which
Then it
plays
went into a wrestling match that was really nicely lit and really well shot. And I had a slight issue initially because I was like, I hate when people do this grindhouse style intro and don't give me grindhouse.
You were wrong.
And then the wrestling match finished. And fuck me, was I wrong? It's grindhouse, baby!
It's exploitation grindhouse specifically. This film is, and I know you didn't. I don't know you didn't twig it automatically the way that I twigged it. This film is the best way I can put this is the wrestle-sploitation parody of Wrestling with My Family, basically.
Yeah.
About Paige and her family, except with like the Von Erichs and touches of the hearts and basically any wrestling dynasty thrown in, but focusing primarily on the very worst aspects of the wrestling industry. Like every single member of the family is a junkie, and like I think at one point there was a line of "What's better than drugs?"
But it's the validation of the junkiness.
Oh yeah, because
which is that I've been wrestling for 20 goddamn years and I'm literally broke. It was like I have the Hardy Boys documentary. Now I know he's had a long ongoing battle with drugs and alcohol, which is currently to date essentially not finished. Because I know he's on the clean now, but he's not on it that long.
Right? Yeah,
you know what I mean. But he'd even said that he was like, they give out about me taking all these extra painkillers and stuff, and it's like I somersault off ladders 4 and 5 nights a week, and I'm a big fucking dude. Like my entire job has involved me getting physically larger.
As I said, if you're not a wrestling fan and you're watching this movie, then you were probably looking at it going, "What the fuck am I?"
Justified in smoking this when we talk about this movie.
Yeah, I know. You're probably looking at it going, "What the fuck am I looking at? What kind of a fucking madhouse is the wrestling industry? They're all on drugs. What?" If you are a wrestling fan, then you understand that this is a parody of reality. Now, it has aspects of reality in it.
There's a lot of home truths about the industry in there, but they're very, very much accentuated.
Up.
Except for Japanese death matches, which get mentioned during it, which are not blown up. Oh, well, no, actually, no, that's a lie. You can physically, literally get blown up in a Japanese death match.
There was just that one time they used the dynamite.
Yeah, but you see,
exploding ring,
this is why wrestling is a magical land of fantasy, because that is a line you can literally say. There was just that one time they used the dynamite.
That I know.
Yes. I
They're also, to be fair, I
would have heard more.
To be fair, I also have a match that was held in either a lake or a swimming pool. The ring was barbed wire. There was flames around it, and wrestlers had to swim out to it, swim away from it.
Either way, you had to go through barbed wire fire.
No, they were brought out to it on a boat, a little dinghy.
I love it.
Anyway,
if you're
getting
looking
back
for
to
mental matches like that, Japan's where to go. Do you remember the bathhouse death match?
Anyway, we need to get back to the film because we're going to say... Right, this film focuses on the Van Strauser family, led by the eldest brother, Herman Van Strauser, who at the very beginning of the movie kills a guy in a death match that he lets get a little bit out of hand because he decides he's sick and tired of these jobbers. He's not just going to kick the shit out of him. He's going to take a barbed wire baseball bat and slit the lad's wrist or throat with it.
Yeah, which you'll find is a running theme with the family as you go along.
Kind of, very much so. And this is one of the reasons why I think it takes...
they're very much a shoot family.
Yes, and that draws from the hearts, I feel. Now, obviously not the deathmatch version of it, clearly, no, but like the notion that they're hardcore.
Well,
they're hardcore.
The Heart Dungeon was literally... It's not wrestling. They lock you in a big, massive stone room.
And
there's a mat on the ground.
You scream.
Yeah, and you fucking go for it.
And you don't go for it. Stu Hart goes, Here, let me just show you how this works.
The best way to find out how to do it is to get it done on you.
No, you really gotta wanna. You're gonna wanna tweak it like this. Oh!
Yeah, you know the way we're not supposed to actually hurt each other in the match. Yeah, but to know
This is
how
how
to
you-
not hurt someone,
First,
you need
you gotta
to know
how to hurt them.
Which I won't lie to you, the logic is
Actually-
there. You need to know where that little bit
Oh, yeah.
too far is, and the
Oh,
only
yeah.
way to know where the little bit too far is to get pulled a little bit too far.
Once again, we're segueing. Point is, Van Strauser family are a wrestling family that has made its name with death matches. Apparently, the old man, the father of the family, killed himself because he felt he'd given so much to the wrestling industry he couldn't give any more, and that was the best legacy he could live.
Yep.
His kids are knucking futs. Like I
Essentially,
said,
wrestling seppuku.
Herman is like in jail at the start of it. He's
Yeah.
two younger siblings, Carl and Kitty,
Yeah.
and this is where I feel that...
Carl is a lad who's taken a few too many chair shots to the nog.
What? Carl's the pretty boy.
Oh, sorry. Wait, what's the name of the lad?
I was going to get...
He's a brother as
I
well,
was
isn't
going
he?
to get to Harvey.
Okay, Harvey's the lad
He was never a wrestler, but he was the manager on the side.
who still took too many chair shots to the nog.
Always did. Like
Yeah.
he's like proper
Or I
mentally
headphone users.
broken. Proper mentally broken. But the active ones are...
Okay,
and
I'm just
this
going
is...
to turn Giz down a little bit.
Anyway,
There you go.
Herman's in jail. Harvey's a fucking brain-dead muppet. Carl and Kitty are the ones that were at the top, but because of wellness violations and all the rest of it, are kicked down and can't even get matches in bush league shit.
Yeah.
Kitty has a reputation for being violent, drug-abusing, psychotic.
If you get in a match with Kitty, there's a very good chance she will either A, mess you up because she feels like it, B, mess you up because she's so off her face that she doesn't realize she's messed you up, or C, a slight combination of A and B.
Unfortunately, Herman, not long out of jail, has a bit of a confrontation with his parole officer. It doesn't go well because Herman's a fucking psychopath.
He gets quite angry.
He does get quite
He
angry.
does.
And Harvey, the brain-dead moron, is the guard dog of the house, and he gets quite angry and lashes out and stabs her with a fork. And
He's a lot more Dewey than Tinky. That's the best way of describing Harvey.
yeah, so he sticks her with a fork. She's down. I think Kitty's
Nearly
up,
forked her to death.
yeah, Kitty's upstairs doing coke with her friend Lacey.
She is.
Kitty,
She'll come back up in the story later on.
Kitty bullies Lacey despite the fact that Lacey is a torso taller than her. That's not an
It's
exaggeration.
literally a person.
Like,
Yeah.
Kitty's face is perfect for Lacey's tits.
Somehow, you didn't notice it as much in the bedroom when they were taking... No, you did notice that there was a significant height difference, but it wasn't until the wrestling match. At one stage, she came out, there was just a dead side shot, and I was like, holy fucking hell!
She was standing next to her in the bedroom.
I don't know, was it she leaned in or something, but I didn't notice it super... Like, I was aware she was a good bit taller than it, but it wasn't until the wrestling match that you're aware I can see you just staring at me blankly that way as well.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
because,
it doesn't
there's
take
a height
away...
difference.
Yes, I know. But it's just the way my eyes work. Like, I'm aware I'm taller than you. It wasn't until that back to school promo thing where you were a school teacher that I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Do you know what I
Anyway,
mean?
getting back to the meat and bones of the story.
Yes,
like
yes,
I
yes,
said, Kitty decides to come downstairs after the incident with the cop. She is out of her gourd. Herman, the elder brother, has left. Kitty ends up killing the cop. Carl comes down because he was upstairs trying to like get his drugs on. 'Cause
No,
he-
doesn't Herman kill the cop? Or not Herman,
Harvey stabbed the cop, but I don't think she was dead yet.
yeah, Herman finished her off.
I thought Kitty finished her off.
No,
Okay,
Kitty
Herman-
came down
fight-
and just went, what the fuck are you two
Fight.
guys up
Herman
to?
killed.
And, yeah.
Fight. Herman killed her. Kitty comes downstairs with Lacey. It's all fun and games. Herman's going on about how we'll have to get rid of the body, and then at some point, Carl comes down, and Kitty, because she's sick of her brother's shit and him blaming her for why his career's in the toilet. Once again, this is reflective of.
Yes. It's very... I won't lie to you. It didn't dawn with me initially. I don't know what it was. It was something about Kitty. I got a real baby Firefly vibe off her, as you can understand. And then Herman really did seem like Otis to a certain degree. And I kind of got locked in on this. They're like the Fireflies of the wrestling industry was the vibe I got. And then it wasn't until you mentioned all of the Page stuff that I was like, oh shit, that actually does line up. Like it's obviously everything is accentuated to the max or slightly tweaked for the suitability of the story, but the main role of everyone in that family dynamic is very much adhered to, shall we say.
Now, as I said, Kitty goes knuckle futs, kills her brother.
Yeah.
Herman-
Stab.
Yeah, Herman would eventually grab the cop, go to bury her in, basically it's near a swamp, but while he's doing it, he gets visited by a demon. There's
the holiness.
there's this evil presence that inhabits
Played by
the
Jake
swamp.
the Snake Roberts.
Sorry, the voices.
The voice is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Because they didn't need to augment it, because that's the way the man actually fracking sounds.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Watch AEW. It's fantastic.
So anyway,
You could literally give the man a Tesco shopping list and you could make it sound menacing as fuck.
so anyway,
Which, if you are watching Jake the Snake, I would like to see you do that. That would be quite cool.
so the holiness promises Herman that if he goes out and basically causes as much bloodshed as possible, kills a bunch of people, brings them back for him as a sacrifice,
I will give you all of my power.
give him whatever the frack he wants. Herman is all into the blood and guts, slightly has skewed the line between kayfabe and reality anyway.
Yeah, and on top of all of that, just seems like he's got a penchant for fucking people up. So it wasn't really a long stretch. Not a lot of convincing was taken with Herman. It was just kind of like, murder all these people and I'm in.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you what you get. Oh, sorry, I get something? Okay, sorry, what? I'll give you all of my power. Oh yeah, okay, I'm in.
Now, unfortunately, in the process of doing all this, it seems that whatever forces inhabit this land,
There's like some, it's mojo residue that's affected the body.
let's say the souls of all the dead folk that were already there decide they want their vengeance, and they're going to use what little power they have left to bring that cop back from the dead so that she can wreak a bloody vengeance for all of them.
Yes.
Primarily by going after the wrestling family that killed her and apparently killed her father.
Yes.
No, her father died because of shit like that, because I think her father used to be a wrestler or something like that.
Or maybe their dad killed the dad.
Possibly.
There is some odd storyline angles that just never get brought up majorly.
Yeah, while all this is going on, you have the friend Lacey, who wants to get into the wrestling industry, gets her first match booked. Unfortunately,
Who's it against?
Unfortunately, though, while it's being all sorted out, it seems Crazy Bitch Kitty has still got a bit of an issue with her bestie friend because she's fucking crazy, and has decided it's going to be a first blood match that she's booking herself
And
in
her last.
against her best friend.
Most importantly, and her last.
Promoter reckons because Kitty it's just an excuse for Kitty to fuck somebody
Yeah,
up.
well, you can kind of tell within 5 seconds of Kitty coming in the ring. And her last is very much the vibe she's going for.
And so we get a fun blood match with, like, over-the-top violence and gore.
Nipplectomies,
Yeah,
barbed wire, chairs to the heads,
chairs to the head,
chairs to the head,
glass bottles,
bottles.
which are eaten.
Some are eaten, mostly are landed on.
Once again, I believe that's a kind of a poke at the sugar glass bit, because it's clearly sugar glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, it's
Lacey somehow mysteriously wins the match. Well, not mysteriously. It's obviously
it's because of the chair shot. The chair shot splits open Kitty,
yeah.
and that's enough for her to win the match. And Kitty goes nuts and comes back in.
But was there a stipulation?
First blood match.
Oh yeah, because your one didn't bleed. She got her head kicked in, but she didn't bleed.
And
She did bleed after the match, quite a lot.
Yeah, because Kitty didn't take losing very well and came back in with a
Paddy
flower
joke.
shears.
This sounds like the start of a board. Well, you're not far off.
There was a scene I was very much thought that was going to happen in it that didn't happen. That should have happened.
Yeah, there's so jumping on with it because, like, I mean, the movie is out.
It's not out. We got a screener, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to give the date that it's coming out because I don't want to give away the whole.
Oh no! I was just going to say that, like, the film is, as I said, it is a exploitation view of the wrestling industry, over the top, and really leans into the darker aspects, which admittedly do exist. And unfortunately, the current environment has highlighted those darker aspects of the wrestling industry, which is why watching this film for wrestling fans right now,
it's kind of creepily apt.
yeah, I'm into, like, you and I are into grindhouse movies, and we can appreciate what people are doing when they do exploitation movies. It's not about trying to be insulting, it's about trying to get a reaction from people. And once again, maybe it's just the times that we're in, but this film definitely got that kind of a reaction whereby, whoa, this is really, like, we've seen in legitimate news how things can go, and this very much leans into that and over the top hypes it with the drug abuse, with the violence, with the sexual abuse, with the blurring of the line, because that's something that has happened before in the past. That blurring of the line between kayfabe and reality, not just deliberately done on the part.
There's been occasional matches where you could tell the two lads had issues.
What I was going to say was,
shall we say?
what I was going to say was not even on the part of deliberately being done by promoters, but one of the things that I thought for Herman was the fact that in his mind the line gets blurred, and that's something that I think has happened to wrestlers before, whereby they're so used to being in the ring and it is their all and it is their life that they become their gimmick.
Yeah,
to a degree,
the fine line between in-ring character and real person becomes blurred. Benoit would be a fine example.
And all of these things actually get mentioned. At one point, you're going to get blackballed worse than Benoit.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
and that's even oddly eerily apt as well, especially with the whole Dark Side of the Ring documentary and everything that came out about his whole thing recently. Which, if you are a wrestling fan, very much worth a watch. It's fantastic.
The main crux of this is that there are
progressively gets way more graphic and way more pornographic.
This is a film designed to deliberately get
under
offended,
the skin.
offended reactions. And like I said, it's
they have a big old press full of butt hurt and they're waiting to fill it.
Yeah, there is.
Actually, they literally have a press full of butt hurt and they're waiting to fill it. I didn't realize what I was saying there as I said it.
Yeah.
There's a. Do you remember the aforementioned Psycho Kitty and the aforementioned friend Lacey? Well, there's
Frenemy.
Yes, there's a bit of a tete-a-tete, shall we say, between the two of them. And one of the implements that gets brought is a razor blade laden strap-on, and it gets used. Unfortunately, I would imagine due to a censoring, I'd imagine somewhere someone up the production ladder of the production companies just went, the fuck? No, that no, sorry, no. Or they didn't have the budget to get around the thing.
You and I discussed it, and within 5 minutes we said
I know how I would have done it. I feel it's more the former than the latter being the reason that someone up the production ladder was just like, no. Which I can, not that I agree with the censorship side of it, but I can agree how you would get there, because when I saw the thing come out, I was like, fuck no! It is sort of a, fuck no! What the fuck is going on? Where's this going?
You and I had very different reactions.
Yeah, you were like fucking...
I wasn't quite that bad.
Fucking Kleenex, where are they?
But considering all the stuff that we had seen, because the mutilation that happens during that women's blood match is pretty graphic when you think about it. And the innuendo and
Innuendo.
Literally in this case.
Yes.
The way that the story goes and the way that some of the stuff is presented, the darkness, the harshness of...
Oh, the darkness.
I mean, like I said, they're all junkies. They all love their violence.
Yeah.
Some
would say they're a bunch of violent junkies.
Yeah, drugs are actually used as a currency by them a lot.
Yeah.
And I just found it strange that one scene was taken out when we have all this other stuff left in. Creepy stuff.
I do feel it's a scene got taken out because it's literally, you see her approach the pudendum and cut to black, and then it's just her laughing her ass off and a girl covered in blood from where you'd imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Overall,
all in all, this is a real.
If you are into over the top,
grindhouse, and especially wrestling, and would like to see some sort of intersecting merger of all three styles, is it?
Yeah, definitely. It is, however, a film that
it's also fantastically neon soaked, laden, and I don't know, I like the kind of purpley blue color tones that a lot of those movies take. Like, I even use it for posters quite a lot.
Yeah, I felt that was part of what they were doing to try and give it a more grindhousey feel.
Yes,
because it does. It works to be off-putting, much like most of the content of the film, in a way. What?
She thought the audio would cut out, but Susan pulled the headphones out of the back of the PC. Yeah, my only major gripe with this was one special effect. Like, I'm not a super stickler for special effects.
Okay.
No, like, as in, if you're doing digital, do it properly, because if you don't do it properly, it looks god awful. Unless you're going for that kind of cheesy style of. Well, you and I, like, I
Considering the music and everything in this film, that's a distinct possibility.
True, but this was okay. It was one practical effect that, bar one mini section of it, would have been fucking perfect, and I don't know why they did it. Was when the resurrected cop, who's now realized she's an entity of sorts, meets Kitty, and they're having about to have the chainsaw fight.
Yeah.
And she shoves her hand into her stomach, and she pulls out a steak.
We all know what it was supposed to be, but yeah.
I know, but my issue was being a fine proprietor of eating steak. Not only was it a steak, it was a ribeye, right? And ribeyes are pricey, and I feel you could have just bought a cow heart for half the fucking price of a ribeye, which would have still been as applicably good coming out. Because, as anybody knows, the rumor says that the quickest way to a guy's heart is through his stomach, but you'll find it's actually up under the rib cage. It's far less messy. You know, so I think, like, if they just pulled the heart out instead of a steak, it would have been like, oh, shit. You know, it was just, I don't know. If you're a steak eater, you would have just been like, that's a steak coming out of somewhere that there really shouldn't be a steak coming out of.
But apart from the waste of good food, apparently, that you...
No, it's not so much it wasn't the waste of good food. I didn't have an issue. If you were pulling, like, a layered leg off or something, I wouldn't have had an issue with you having ribeye. It actually would have looked quite, you know, because you got a bit of sinew and stuff in there, so it would have looked matchable. But it was just a lung, a kidney, any one of the multiply cheaper bits of fucking animal you could have bought would have looked way better coming out of there than what looked like a really nice ribeye. To be honest, it was quite long.
Fair enough.
Thick.
Fair enough.
That was my major my major gripe with everything. Sorry, I thought I had notifications off. I just had stuff muted.
Okay. Do we want to maybe...
Yeah, so we're going to get into a trailer for Parts Unknown, and then we're going to be back with, I think it's my favourite of the day. I did really enjoy Parts Unknown, but it's just your one's performance in the next movie really won me over. We're going to be back with HOMEWRECKER.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill you the first time. It's just that you came back to life and, well, we just have to be careful.
Is this a dream?
I don't think so.
I gave my life to professional wrestling. Into what? A bunch of jagoffs who don't remember or don't care. All they can do is look at their phones like a bunch of mindless drones. There's no place left for this family to go. Now it's time to make one last sacrifice. To make that one last suicidal plunge. Whatever humanity calls beauty and warmth, I want to blot it out. I want to extinguish the sun. Don't run, because I will catch you.
That was the trailer for that was the trailer for Parts Unknown. That's available Tuesday on digital and VOD download. Yeah, July 7th, Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, the 5th now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, it's technically the 6th now, because it's technically Monday, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, next up we have HOMEWRECKER, where we have the story of a woman who, she's off going to the gym and things like that, and you start to notice that there seems to be a regular person in the background, and eventually the regular person has also noticed that they all seem to be in the same gym things and everything, and she goes over, approaches her when she has a cup of coffee, realizes, what's her name again?
Which one? Michelle or Linda?
So Michelle is the lady who goes to the gym, and Linda is the strange person who happens to be everywhere. Linda goes over to Michelle, they strike up a chat. It turns out that Michelle is an interior decorator, and lo and behold, Linda needs some interior decorating advice. And to Michelle's having a bit of an issue on a gig that she's doing anyway, and could do with a bit of a distraction. So Linda talks her into coming back to her house, and
browbeats her.
Well, yeah, I was trying to tiptoe around that. I can't.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
proceed.
Brings her back to her house, at which point she gives her a roofie colada and a quick upside the head.
Technically, she didn't give her a roofie colada. She gave her sodium pentothal in her drink.
I was just saying that as a...
Okay, but it's important. To be fair, it is an important difference considering the way the film goes.
Because it's right somewhere. So
yeah.
Okay. She puts
sodium pentothal
colada in her drink.
And then cracks her upside the back of the head.
And then cracks her upside the back of the head because she's not passing out quick enough.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't.
But she wanted some home truths first, but I think she'd given her a whopper dose.
I think, to be honest, she wasn't looking for her to pass out. But when it looked like Michelle was trying to leave...
Oh, she just clocked her upside the head.
Pretty much, yeah.
With a statue.
The intention was to have a heart.
Michelle comes to in a baby's bedroom. Creepiest baby's bedroom. Without it being literally a horror-looking bedroom, it was a creepy fucking baby's bedroom.
Or a kid's room, yeah.
Yeah, like... You could very easily imagine the baby on the roof from Trainspot and having a wander across it. Do you know what I mean? It was that kind of tack wallpaper, tack everything, and just like, oh, it's definitely a man in a baby nappy that goes in here, not an actual child. If you're into that kind of thing.
Funnily enough, I'm not.
Me neither.
No.
Something about shitting in a nappy is a sexual. Anyway, that's whatever people are into. Do you know what I mean?
True. Very true.
Needless to say, we get brought on a whirlwind roller coaster of the fucking madness that is Linda, which I liked because there was this not crazy escalation to it. You could tell she was a little bit ADD during the initial meeting.
Yeah.
Then you could tell that it's like, I may have misdiagnosed ADD as they're talking on the couch. Then you can notice Michelle's demeanor starting to change as they're talking, and you're kind of like, I might have, I feel I may have totally misjudged with ADD, and it's more psychopathy than ADD. And then...
Not ADD, it's misery.
Crazy bitch shows up.
Yeah. Basically, the entire film revolves around Linda wanting Michelle's company for as long as possible and wanting to speak to somebody that's going to give her the truth no matter what happens. Because one of Linda's big problems is that people are always lying to her. Nobody ever tells the truth. So now, what with the whole, drugging her with sodium pentothal,
they're not being able to lie.
Michelle has no other option but to give her the truth, which is why it's really cool because they're asking. It's kind of like Linda is trying to explain herself, and Michelle is trying to be nice and kind of talk Linda down from whatever insanity she's into, and then Linda turns around and she goes, "Are you going to try and run away?" "Yes."
Probably.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to lock the door here. Don't lock that door!
No,
don't lock that door!
Eventually,
Michelle breaks loose.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a scuffle.
Yeah.
Eventually, Linda manages to kind of calm things down and convince Michelle that if she's willing to play a nice little game, a board game...
Just sit down and have a board game and we can chill out.
And that's when...
Which is, what was it, Make a Date?
Party hunk.
Party hunk. It's like the Make It Date game from the 80s or whatever. Do you know,
by the way,
dudes in the screen and you just like, Brad wants me.
By the way, Linda is obsessed with the 80s.
Yeah, Linda's 80s. You'll figure that out pretty fucking quickly. Although somewhat slightly 90s as well.
She's aware.
I say...
Oh, that was... Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, for such a delightful song being sang in like a pretty delightful way, like the video was all like nicely lit and it looked like a proper sort of who did that?
Alanis
Morissette kind of happy Alanis Morissette video. But with the preluding stuff that had happened, you're very much like this. Like that was the moment I was actually like, this woman's fucking nuts. Oh no, as in I was enough stuff had arisen already where I was like, that woman's fucking crazy. But it was like when that all happened, because it was semi-torture and it was torture for your one locked in the wardrobe, but it was also as a release for herself. And it was just, I was like, wow, this woman's actually batshit fucking crazy.
Well, don't forget that at that point the penny had dropped on something, and
oh yeah,
there's a nice little twist, which, to be fair,
We're not going to get into.
but the two of us sussed. I don't know how many other.
I feel we sussed it
at probably about the
pretty
time
much
that-
the same time, but I also feel like this is a very intelligently constructed movie. And I feel you and I sussed it at the exact same time. Outside of you and I have been kind of on the ball with these kind of things ordinarily, but I very much feel we sussed it at the same time because we were supposed to suss it at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as
Do you know
well.
what I mean? There was one line put in there, and it's a very, very just nonchalant, nothing in line, but with everything that's been adding up over time and little nuggets of information as to what Linda's true intentions are. When you get the little bombshell,
You're just kind of like,
you're like,
hang on.
oh, now,
Oh,
now, she's
was-
even fucking crazy. And that was before the fucking...
and what's cool is that happens, and the two of us are like, ah. And to be fair, it's another 5 or 10 minutes before we get more of a reveal, and we are validated in our assumptions. Yay! I love it when that happens, and that's when that crazy dial is at the full 11 that you're talking about, and it's just hoochie mama. But yeah, this film does work very. Like I said, at first I thought I was watching a Misery kind of situation.
Yes.
And then that penny dropped.
Yeah, I want to be Michelle, but it wasn't.
Yeah, well, not even I want to be Michelle. It's very much, Linda is very attention starved, and she even says how she was so popular in high school and she used to have loads of friends, and all she wants is to have someone to hang out with and talk about boys and have drinks and have a laugh.
Yeah.
And
Linda never got over 18, being considering she's in her 40s, I would imagine. Late 30s, anyway.
oh, I think she's older than that.
Really?
Michelle is probably in her early to mid 30s.
I would put Michelle early 30s, mid 20s.
Bear in mind the husband that remember that line that the line that
Yeah.
I'd say she's probably in her early 50s.
One of my favorite scenes in this was there's during one of Michelle's multiple escape attempts.
Sorry, keep going. I'm just
During one of Michelle's multiple escape attempts, you
were absolutely right. Teenager would have been. Oh, I feel bad. Yeah.
During one of Michelle's multiple escape attempts, there was the ultimate sign that you're dealing with not just your average psycho, which was when she ran face first into the plexiglass window.
There is so many moments of comedy in this film.
Normally, chicks and stuff in horror movies, they go to run up the stairs and stupid shit like that, which she does do eventually, but it's literally out of nowhere else to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's literally, the only place I can go is upstairs because she's got me cornered now. Do you know what I mean? But she goes and she runs at this glass door in the kitchen, full pelt. And I was actually like applauding the woman because I was like, that is a woman in a horror movie that genuinely wants to survive the situation. You don't normally get survival skills like, it's plexiglass. Shit. Okay. I was like, well, now I know for a fact that woman is a proper psycho.
And it was a hilarious one too, because it's just straight up and boom.
Yeah, because all the action music and everything stopped. It was just like, bleh. But yeah, it was very much a that would be one of my main indicator hit markers if I was to wake up in a miscellaneous house or whatever after being drugged. That if I went to run at a window and it was plexiglass, I would be like, fuck, it's proper psychos. Oh, it's not
gonna need a
it's
weapon.
It's not the I fucking got angry and I snapped psycho. It's the I knew someone was going to try and run through that door psycho.
Okay.
God damn.
What's he not going to think of as a weapon? What's around?
Me.
There is that's always the fallback, and let us not forget the most dangerous weapon is the one up here. That's only because the one up here allows you to use everything else.
Knee kick, elbow slap, knee to face.
Yes. Chair shot, pencil to the eye. This thing upside the back of your head. Whatever it happens to be at the time.
With my knee, I can't do a chair shot. It's the lifting motion. Yeah. I will, however, have no problem exploding my knee into someone's face, and then I'll crawl my fucking ass out of that house.
Point is, you would still be able to pick up random object and slap said random object off a random head.
Yes.
Yes.
Cinema Reaper, what is up, sir?
Well, man, oh no. Homewrecker is a very intelligent,
very
humorous.
Intelligent. Yeah. And there's a great little cast in it.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a 1 minute now. You had Alex Essoe, who's from Doctor Sleep. I think that's Michelle. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it's your man's wife. Do you know who goes off on the holiday or whatever?
Okay.
Right. Precious Chong, who plays Linda. She was in L.A. Confidential. And Zach Gayne. Oh, no, sorry. That's it. They're the two major ones that were in major movies. Just when I saw Dr. Sleep. I'm pretty sure she's the wife in Dr. Sleep. I will double check that now, just to be safe.
Okay.
Actually, do you know what? We will, 2 seconds now.
Trailer and check it.
Yeah, let me just cue this up and we'll, so we're going to very quickly, if my computer tweakings, because we haven't had issues yet.
Oh, no, don't say it.
I know. No. I'm, you know, so, oh. It's okay.
I was just about to say, pinwheel of death!
No. It is occasionally just loading wheel, but I won't lie to you. I was slightly worried there for a second. If, you know, full discretion.
Disclosure.
Homewrecker. There we go. Okay, so we're going to hit you up with the trailer for Homewrecker, and then we're going to be back with the final movie, which is also neon laden, but only in places. Which is Coven, which is interesting. Catch you in a minute or two.
I'm Linda.
Oh, Michelle. Nice to officially meet you.
Likewise. Aw, cute baby. Cunt.
When would you want to get this process started?
I just need some help getting organized. Let me give you a tour. Cheers.
Cheers. Listen, I feel really terrible. How can I make that up to you? I really have to go.
Are you thinking about leaving now?
Linda!
I get it. Why would you want to hang out with a weirdo like me? Everyone is so fucking fake!
I think you're having some kind of breakdown.
What a crock of shit! I used to be popular. Everyone wanted to be me. You don't know anything about me!
And we're back. That was the trailer for Homewrecker. Homewrecker is... One moment now. I need to pull up my notes. Homewrecker is available in select drive-in theaters since July 3rd and is going to be on digital, DVD, and on-demand July 7th. So, if you're looking for something that'll fuck with your brain and keep you highly entertained, and it's got a cool little 80s, funky, 80s, mid-90s kind of soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
And some 50s kind of shit.
Yes, there's this kind of 50s riff going the whole way through it, kind of.
Joe Daly, a film about one of my crazy exes. We've all been there.
Yeah. But yeah, that 50s thing is kind of lull you into, I don't want to say a false sense of creep. It makes things seem creepier.
Yes. Sometimes happy music at the right times can be more terrifying than scary music at a scary time.
This is very true.
Anyway, next movie up that we have is, I'm going to put this back this way, is Coven, which is another one from Uncork'd Entertainment.
I have got the wrong thing in front of me. Apparently there's another film called Coven. I didn't know that.
The Devoted Couples Quiet Weekend. No, that's 2021.
Yes, I know, because we were looking at a screener. I thought that it was a film getting released at a later date.
I can pull up Coven notes here. Sorry, one sec, I have them on my phone. Anyway, I'll give you the names of everyone because I'm really crap with names, as is documented on the show, long and hard. But anyway, the story of Coven is we open up, we meet a small coven of witches as they're starting to have a bit of a drinking session, which is the preluding madness that goes into a blood ritual that they're about to do as step one of raising the head bitch witch Azura. Am I correct?
Azura, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out if this... Cast looks wrong. No, I don't think I found the right film at all. Crap. Okay.
You talk for a second and I will send...
Once upon a time, there was a coven of 5 witches who were intent on bringing forth the ancient witch goddess Azura. They get together one night and perform a ritual. This ritual doesn't quite work out the way they wanted when instead of summoning the supposed goddess into one of them, they just end up whacking a member of their coven.
Yeah.
They are, however...
They say it didn't work out as intended.
I was going to say
most of them.
I was going to say they are, however, remarkably nonchalant about it all.
Bar one.
Well, I think she was just a little bit... I think she knew it was going to happen, but it was like, now that it happened, it's kind of, okay, that actually happened. So, they have legitimately got power, as we can see over the course of this first summoning ritual. They're able to create fire, they're able to draw on the winds, they're able to draw on the elements, basically. But, like I said, it doesn't work out. So, they need to find a 5th so that they can complete their spell and summon forth the goddess Azura, and therefore have all of their wishes granted. What's the name of the ditzy one? Beth? Beth, a member of the Coven who is somewhat accident prone, and if there was a weakest link, it would be her, I guess. She's kind of the most nervy of them. Uses a divination spell to track down the 5th member of the Coven, because all of them can trace their blood lineage back to another Coven that existed a few hundred years ago, which supposedly once summoned Azura and then bound her power. The idea is that because they're all blood related, if they perform a certain ritual at the right time, 100 years later, on the night
200 years later,
on the night of Azura's passing,
and on the blood moon,
it's
because that's always.
Then they will be able to bring back the demoness or the goddess and have her curry her favor, or I think have one of them.
They use one of the women as a vessel because there is a removal of. I have not found it, even though that is an image that was popping up earlier, but it looks like a different movie.
Yeah, the idea is to turn one of them into an avatar.
Yeah. Vessel would be the word. Customarily. In witchy speak, vessel.
An avatar of a god. Can be either.
Not a god, though.
Azura is.
She a god? I just thought she was head of the witches.
Well, she's a goddess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either or. They're both essentially the same thing. Kind of.
Beth manages to track down Sophie, who is another girl that can trace her blood lineage back to the original Coven. And a girl who is very much
in tune with her powers.
Yeah, she has been practicing and has been tutored because she's trying to connect with her mother.
And we find this out in a very entertaining manner when the 4 remaining ladies of the Coven go to kind of strong armor a little bit in a bathroom interlude, at which point Sophie just and sends 2 of them stepping backwards.
They want to get a piece of her so that they can find out if she's the real deal, and instead they end up getting a slap of her power and a piece of her, and then finding out, oh, she's very much the real deal. We need to coerce her into it.
Yeah, there's no fucking with her. She'll fuck us up.
Yeah. Sophie is intent on getting in touch with her mother, in getting by in college, and apparently in getting off with the cute teaching assistant who was willing to stay behind extra and let her do the test that she missed out on, despite the fact that her redonkulously hot professor was kind of saying, too late, blah, 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 you can't do the test.
Test. This is a test.
Sophie is once again met by Beth later on and convinced to talk to Beth's friends about the fact that they're into witchcraft as well.
Yeah, she hasn't met many other witches, especially ones that actually exude some ounce of power.
Yeah.
And the promise of a coven, and then there's the realization that I think Beth mentions that your mum was one of the original people in our coven.
Yeah, they explain to her what they're going to do, and the fact that if they can summon forth Azura, then they will basically get whatever they want granted, including
bring Beth's mum back.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not Beth.
Sophie.
Sophie's mum back.
Yeah. I think, by the way, one of the reasons I was looking for the stuff, if I'm right, Sophie is actually the writer of this film. Lizzie something?
I will find out for you now.
It's definitely Lizzie.
Not on this.
Yeah. But anyway, upon hearing that Sophie can
Lizzie Gordon is the writer, and she also plays Sophie.
Yes, cool. I just wasn't 100% certain it was.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Upon hearing that she can get her mother back, she agrees to basically go in with what the girls are doing. In her own words, she'll do whatever it takes to get her mother back. So in a very sexy and drink and drug fueled initiation ceremony, she strips off, does a dance with all the girls.
It's to be said, the rituals in this look like they're great crack. I have to say.
They go with the Dionysian approach.
Oh yeah, I'm not disputing that. It's very much.
Yep.
Certain shit is done that way.
Yep. I'm pretty sure devotees of Hecate enjoy an old bacchanal every now and then. But anyway, what? It's the correct term. Sophie agreed.
You don't get to drop it in chat or in conversation customarily.
Bacchanal. You do when you're a member of the Gore Club. Haha.
Speaking of which, our Amino's back up and running full time. Make sure to come over to the Gore Club, Amino. Go to Amino and type in Gore Club.
Haha.
Anyway, that was terrible.
It was, yes.
Definitely.
Sophie joins up with Coven and is soon dragooned into it as the girls arrive on to bring her along as that teaching assistant arrives on to bring her on. James arrives on to bring her on an impromptu date. Unfortunately, the girls arrive on and basically befuddle his mind, send him off, and take her on an impromptu magic ritual thingy. Because
essentially, Emily shows up, puts on the voice.
Emily, thank you. I couldn't think of the.
She's the head out of that group.
The head hot mean chick.
She's the head mean chick, and also and subsequently the vessel for Azura.
And Frankie is the last one.
Yes. They show up. She puts on the voice of Sophie.
Yeah.
James opens the door, showing how much James is into this chick that he literally turns off the PlayStation the minute she rings at the door. And he's like, "This is way better than PlayStation." I was like, "Well done, sir." Because if you've ever seen that TikTok video, it can be 50-50. There was a TikTok video where girls came in like with a towel around them while the boyfriend was playing PlayStation, and they just whipped the towel off, and presumably are wearing nothing under the towel. And
why was the controller not just
50% of dudes were like, "Damn, boom, controller done," or you just hear the, "I'll be back in a bit, guys, I'll talk to you later, bye." And then one other guy was like, "What are you doing, babe? You fucking,"
Only way I can see that working is
if there's some tournament.
Yeah, I was just about to say it.
There's money on the line, titties. I mean, baby, what the?
You can stay, but just don't stay in front of the screen.
Well, I'll tell you something for nothing. No matter how much I like Warzone or how much I love Daisy, or heaven forbid, I don't think she'd actually do it to me while I was playing it. Though, put the Final Fantasy VII remake controller be gone very gently because they're expensive. But
bringing you down now.
Yeah. If it wasn't 60 quid in my hand, gone.
Anyway, the girls get their hands on James, which is what they need to convince Sophie to go along with the ritual. Because Sophie
tied you up with it.
Yeah, I remember. Because Sophie,
that's how old we are.
Because Sophie isn't up for some aspects of it. We're not going to get into too many more bits and pieces of the story, but
needless to say, some witchy shit goes down. Some witches need to face off with each other, and there's a whole lot of CGI magic.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and an inexplicable enhancement of powers that I still can't figure out how that works.
And I can't explain it to you on
I asked you to explain it to me before the show, but we never got there.
That was you. We got distracted.
Was I right?
I think what you said may have been right.
Double witch.
Yes.
Okay, so she's just
kind
times two, kind of. Or,
kind of, yes.
Yeah, or whatever,
yes.
times 2 / Okay.
Yes.
Does that equate to goddess, though? That's where I'm like...
No. If you eat a bunch of them, probably.
Yes, I get that if it was like a whole coven's worth of stuff. But, yeah, cause that's where I got a bit confused, because I was like, was your one... Sorry, where myself and kids do this as diplomatically without plot ruining anything as possible. I was like... Was your one, like, super juiced or something? Or what was it?
Do you remember how it happened originally?
Yes.
That was a normal person at the height of her power.
Yes.
Sophie is not yet at the height of her power. She's still growing.
Right.
Her mother, on the other hand...
Right.
There you go.
Okay. But that still doesn't equate to goddess.
It doesn't need to.
Okay. Okay.
Technically speaking, you don't even need to have power to summon or banish demons. All you need to know is their names. be careful that you have a protective circle and you don't let them out of it, or they will do bad things.
Salt is thine friend.
I probably go with like metals.
Flamethrower.
No, certain types of metals.
Flamethrower. Witches don't like fire last time I checked.
I wasn't talking about witches.
Demons. Cut its head off.
Nothing moves it out of head, and if it does, set its ass on fire.
Yeah.
Or
do what I'm saying, which is like light its ass on fire, and while it's like fuck, I'm on fire, cut its head off.
Why don't you set a zombie on fire?
What?
Why do you never set a zombie on fire?
Because it's going to run head first into the other bunch of zombies, thus lighting all the other zombies on fire.
And then you got a pack of flaming zombies around you.
There's one demon though.
Who probably loves fire.
Maybe.
Anyway, all
Cut
of
its
this
head
is
off.
superfluous. How do you know that?
How do you know it wouldn't?
Pretty sure the most you...
A worst case scenario, right?
It banishes them back because they no longer have a corporeal form.
No, it's well hard to get around with no fucking head.
Tickled. Can we get back to the film as opposed to the... I'm assuming he's miming beating the head in a bag off the floor and then throwing it away.
Yeah. Now I just got to deal with a fucking body that's got no fucking eyes.
How do you even know it needs them?
What?
How do you know?
Oh, not just like I won't lie to you. If I'm at a stage where the body's still like coming at me while the head's tied up in a bag, I'm going to just start cutting limbs off. Cutting limbs off. You go 500 days that direction. You go 500 days that direction. You go 500 days that direction. And you go 500 days that direction. I'm staying right here because I've been fucking fighting a demon all night and I'm kind of tired. I'm going to bury what bit I got here. You bury all the other shit. Don't even tell me where you're burying the other shit. All I know is that it's roughly 500 days in that general direction.
You just described an episode of Doctor Who. Spoiler alert. It never works. Eventually, some dumbass.
Do I have witches with me?
What?
Do I have witches or anything like that with me?
No, you don't.
Say hypothetically in the fight.
Are they on your side?
I don't know.
They're gonna.
You're the one bringing up the argument.
All I'm saying is that you described an episode of Doctor Who and that it didn't end well.
Alternate dimensions. One arm goes this way. One arm goes that way. One arm goes this way.
Legends of Tomorrow. Didn't end well. But it's okay. That was only because...
How long did it take for it to not end well?
About 1,000 years.
Oh, I'd be dead by that stage. That's fine.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't have cared in any case. Back to the film at hand.
Yeah, I'd just be like, more shopping to do. I don't
I
get
never
to do
said
this. I don't get to do this often.
I never said it wouldn't end well for you. I'm just saying down the line, it's not going to end well. Anyway, Coven.
CYA people, you know.
The Coven.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'll get him back on track if I just repeatedly scream the name of the movie at camera.
It worked.
The Coven. The Coven. The Coven. The Coven. Coven.
Trailer?
Coven. Coven. I have to queue up the trailer.
Okay. It was a fun film.
You should have said that to me while I was still mid-rant. I could have fluffed my way up there. Don't you get crashy. Don't you get crashy.
The Coven is a fun film. It does get a little bit drawn out at times, but that might only be because it is similar in tone and feel to, you know, The Craft.
My only slight issue with the movie was there semi what you said, but I put it down to more like there was kind of a pacing issue with plot, where there was a lot more time spent on stuff that I think could have been shortened down, and there were certain aspects and elements that were brought up later on in the movie that I felt could have done with an extra 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It was very kind of, I need to talk to my friend. She's a witch. Let's get here. Everybody's got superpowers.
Actually, now that you mention it, there was something. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember there was something, and it was once again one of those throwaway lines where for me, I was kind of like, yes, that makes sense. But then again, that's because I'm kind of used to this kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're watching this film and you have no idea, it's one of those throwaway lines where you're probably going, wait, what? That what? And it just dropped in without any other explanation whatsoever. You know, no reasoning, no rhyme, just this is how it happens. Okay.
I know exactly what you're on about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I know what happened.
That's why
what
I wasn't
part
just slightly nodding. I was like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But we're not going to tell you what it is. Mail us in if you figure it out.
I can't remember what it is.
But
So it's
all
okay.
in all, it's quite a good movie. It's shot really nicely, and there's a whopper soundtrack to it, I have to say.
Yes, there is. This has got a really good soundtrack.
Look, if you just like gratuitous entertainment, this is for you, because it's a load of really cool chicks dressed up all hot, loads of cool metal music. We got neon lights, we got fire, we got ultimately not the greatest CGI magic, but acceptable CGI magic. We got blood, we got lesbian makeout sessions, we got, did I mention heavy metal soundtrack? I'm going to mention it again because it was that goddamn good.
It actually was
heavy metal
really
soundtrack.
good.
The end credit tune I must look up because it was fucking wicked.
I actually might go up and just like make note of all the music in it.
Yeah, the opening track
There was a couple
really
of
good. It was really
most
good.
of the soundtrack is female vocals, but there was one or two male vocals. There
was male vocals opening up, and
there
it was
one,
very good.
There was one during the film that I liked, and I can't for the life of me. Soundtrack was good.
Yeah. Anyway, where am I? That is available on DVD and digital release from July 14th. Yet another one. I would probably actually before we get into we'll do that after the trailers. Okay, so we're going to do trailer for Coven. I usually finish the info for the movie and then go into the trailer.
I thought you usually did that after the trailer.
No, okay. Well, it's out on July 14th, DVD and digital release, and here's the trailer for it now, and then we'll be back to say a couple of bits and all of that kind of thing. So, trailer for Coven.
Tonight, we gather to awaken the spirit and power of our goddess witch, Ashura. Ashura, hear our call.
It was a group of witches.
What did they want?
I don't know. They just made with the hexing mostly, and they cut my hair.
Holy smokes. It's a match. Bring her to me and bring her now.
Let me help you. I'm Beth. We are a coven of witches dedicated to reincarnating the spirit of our ancestor, Ashura. We've already done all the heavy lifting. We just need you for the final phase.
So why should I help you guys gain all this power?
Our destinies are intertwined.
Together, we will be so powerful. Anything you've ever wanted can come true.
Let's go.
Let's invoke this witch, shall we?
Ashura has risen.
We summoned her tonight.
So the magic is real?
Very real.
Trick or treat.
They can run, but they can't hide.
Yes.
And we're back. That was the trailer for Coven. As I said, that's available on July 14th on digital and DVD, and that's another one from Uncork'd Entertainment. So,
yeah, and a fun one too. Like I said, the soundtrack is really good, and while for me aspects of the story were overly familiar just because of my familiarity with, I suppose, the
you and I grew up in the year of the 90s where all of those, like, no, don't get me wrong, I know the Grindhouse, nearly exclusively at one stage, the Grindhouse and exploitation movies were either fucking
70s.
witches or fucking zombies.
Yeah.
Covens of something and hordes of something else.
Yeah.
And werewolves. It was the okay. Do you remember that biker
Werewolves on Wheels?
So good. So good. Just for that fight in the fucking just for that fight in the cultist temple at the end, just like 50 bikers who are also werewolves run into a cultist temple and they all just start thumping the fuck out of each other. It's great.
Oh, what's that line from at the start of the zombie song from it? Yeah, I remember how the song goes. I can't remember the line at the start.
Technically also kind of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay, sorry. Because that was kind of the music in the fight scene as well.
One wonders where he got the inspiration
from. It's Zombie.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Parts Unknown. Would you be bringing the boys around to watch Parts Unknown?
It's a film that you could have on, like, you wouldn't really be paying a lot of attention to it, admittedly. But yeah, it's a film you'd have on.
Well, it's one you can... It's a weird one, because there's definitely enough in there to keep you gripped and watching it the whole way through. But yet somehow the plot isn't so intricate that you couldn't have a couple of mates over and be kind of chatting and enjoying the movie on as well.
Yeah.
So I'd put this in the definite party movie category anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd be as... like, I really liked it. It was shot really cool. And it's unusual to see the wrestling matches in movies shot well. And the wrestling match, while not many, were shot well.
Mm-hmm.
No?
I'll be honest, for me the appeal of that film was actually everything else.
No, I wasn't saying that was the appeal of the movie.
Yeah, I'm just saying that for me, I found that
Yeah, it's just gratuitous violence.
Yeah, and really dark subject matter.
Yeah, I liked it. I always appreciate a movie that's willing to just go, fuck it, balls to the wall. Oh, are you going to be offended? Well, fuck you.
This is our intention.
That's why I enjoy Cherokee Creek so much.
Yes.
Cherokee Creek is another... Like, I'm never going to stop talking about this movie. Like, it's a Bigfoot black comedy. Or dark comedy. Black comedy, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a Bigfoot black comedy, just... That's
deliberately
gory,
intent.
And it's deliberately fuck you, PC culture. Let's get fucking crazy. And by God, they do.
Yep.
Dicks and hands and all.
Yep.
Really good. After that, Homewrecker. I'm sure you gathered by when I was talking, I'd recommend this down to the ground.
Yeah, Homewrecker.
This is a good sit down if you're looking for something for you and your mates, or you and your missus, or you and you to get stuck into, or you and your fella, or you and your
you and whatever person happens to be there, or you and your cats.
You and your unicorn, you and your dragon, whatever floats, whatever you're dating. It's a real get stuck in there, because like
it's a bit slow at the start.
But there's enough little
bits,
sprinklings of crazy, even in the coffee shop conversation, where you're like, as I said, it's kind of like, well, she's a little bit overly ADD. Do you know what I mean? And then you kind of progressively, as I said, it's 3 movies I think we'd recommend, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I went to your house and you put this on, I wouldn't be upset with either of them.
Yeah.
Unless I'd just eaten, I might be a little bit like, what the fuck are you doing to me with Parts Unknown?
Weird, and I was just about to say, weirdly enough, Parts Unknown is the one that I'm kind of like leaning towards as my preferred, even though all the stuff and the fact that I realised that at this time, after all the crap that came out...
Rotted Peaches, is that a full moon flick? One of them was full moon, wasn't it? Coven?
I can't remember.
I think one of them is. I'll mail you afterwards, because I can't rightly remember off the top of my head now.
Yeah. But, actually, I think it's because it's so deliberately designed to slap you in the face with everything, including its offensiveness.
Yeah.
And once again, the timing, it might
as I said, I wouldn't be upset if you put this on when I came over to your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I also happen to quite like that type of thing.
Once again, though, not for everybody.
No, it is... If your sensibilities get offended easily, I would not.
I also feel that if you didn't have... You wouldn't need to have a lot of knowledge about the wrestling industry, but I feel some knowledge would help, because there's a lot of people, and if they just watch this with nothing got to do, no notion of wrestling whatsoever, they'd be like, what the fuck am I looking at? Admittedly, like I said, recent events would prove that it's not too far. Well, the violent aspect of it is way far, but yeah. But overall, very fun film, I thought.
Coven or Home?
I was on about Parts Unknown.
Did we go back to Parts Unknown?
Well, that's what I was talking about the whole time. But yeah.
What do you think of Homewrecker?
Yeah, like I said, that was fun. It's a bit slow at the start, but once it gets going, and especially once you realise how intelligent it is, because I was watching it at first, and you get the... As
I said to you earlier, they layer her craziness like an onion, and it's unusual to see that, because it's usually I'm putting on an act. I'm fucking crazy, or I'm so fucking crazy I don't even put on an act. It's unusual to see like the proper sociopathic mask of, and then it slowly cracks as things go.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's the fact that they were intelligent about things, because at first you're watching and you're thinking that you're watching basically Misery or something like that, whereby someone...
You're my friend and
Yeah.
you're never going to leave me.
And then the coin drops...
I don't know why I did that. So I didn't sound like me.
Yeah. But then the penny drops on something, and it becomes a very different story. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay, hey, that's...
This just got fucking interesting.
Yes.
Not that it wasn't interesting before, but now
More
I'm
so.
investedly interested.
You had my interest, now you have my attention.
I can't remember what that's from.
Django Unchained.
I remember what that's from.
One of the only times
Django Unchained.
one of the only times I've ever actually liked what's his face.
Caprio?
Thank you. All I could think of was...
He actually got his hand in that scene.
Yeah,
And
I
acted
know.
on strong.
Yeah. Fair.
I didn't always like DiCaprio, but after he got out of the kind of the cutesy boy stuff phase, like Beach and shit like that.
Yeah.
Boy's a power actor. Yeah. He's very good, man. Have
Perhaps.
you seen Covenant?
No. See, I was just
Leonardo DiCaprio versus Bear.
I was just about to say, perhaps it's merely a case of Django Unchained is literally the only film that I've seen with him in it that was good.
Watch
As in,
Covenant.
I haven't seen the other good ones that he's in.
Watch Covenant.
Okay.
And watch. There's a Martin Scorsese one with.
Okay, the Departed, is it?
Yeah, The Departed. No. Yeah, that's the one with all the cops and stuff.
Yeah.
The Departed.
That's the one that I was
fucking
thinking.
amazing.
Well, the soundtrack for bloody well is.
Yeah.
Shipping up the boss.
Oh no, the whole movie's fucking ridiculously good. Jesus, this turned into a whole bunch of Coven looks like a full moon flick. It does, and I won't lie to you, I'm full sure I saw it mentioned in some of the publicity material, but I just can't rightly find it now without having a big awkward on stream, which I'd rather not.
Okay, I think that's...
Don't diss my Capri Sun. Who's dissing Capri Sun? Who's dissing Capri Sun?
Oh! Fucking DiCaprio.
Oh. Capri Sun. That's very good.
Either that or it was fucking autocorrect. Imagine she don't...
God bless you, autocorrect. Never change. Anyway,
it's a possibility, or it could have been a deliberate joke. I'm not sure which.
Anyway, customarily, over on American Horror tonight, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to is GMTs, there's going to be something of ours playing. I'm not exactly sure what it is, because we're technically on a TV break for the next...
Because his head was going to break.
Well, no, it's just 40 something.
Smoke coming out of your ears.
Yeah, and customarily at the nearly 50 episode mark, we usually take a break.
True. I'm done. Okay.
As much as for the sake of the computer as it is for me. So I don't know what trailer to play. So instead, if you guys happen to be in... Oh no, I know what trailer I'm going to play now. I just didn't know what Gorecast trailer I would play. So we're going to do this instead.
I know, okay.
Right. So if you happen to be into magical shenanigans, magical backstories, and an insight into the world of magicians and the aforementioned magic, Steve Spade, who's a magician in Ireland, and David Peace, who's also a magician in Ireland, have started up a podcast called Magicians Gone Wild, where they talk about the good side of magic, bad side of the entertainment side of magic, talk about movies with magicians in them, talk about magician movies, all that kind of thing. So we're going to play a trailer for their movie. Go check them out. They're on YouTube. Magicians Gone Wild. Give them a like. I know we don't have like 5 million followers, but if a few of you pop over and just give an old sub button, that'd be delightful. And while you're doing that, mail your mom and tell her to sub to her channel, and then tell her subsequently to mail all her friends and tell their grandchildren sub as well. Because that's how we do it in Ireland, boy.
Apparently Capri Sun was delivered.
First you get the granny, and then you get the entire family tree.
Certainly how the churches worked. Wouldn't be a show without it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Anyway, for myself and the kids, we'll catch you next week. We're going to be talking about some other sort of mad horror bollocks, which is going to be a whole lot more screeners because it isn't this.
Okay.
Toodaloo, fuckers. Fade, you fuck.
I've got a great I got a dick, but I think I
I'm Garrett.
a record of this country.
No, that's sorry. I have to continue with the show. Can you let go of that? That's we're on to intuition, all right? We'll see what's happening.
That took the cake right there. I didn't see this on TV. I'm here.